Most people assume the air in their homes is safe. It's a sanctuary, after all. But here's what nobody tells you. The United States Environmental Protection Agency has found that concentrations of some pollutants are often 2 to 5 times higher indoors than outdoors. And here's the critical part. During everyday activities like cooking or cleaning, those levels can spike to be many times higher. We spend about 90% of our lives inside, breathing air that's often a chemical cocktail, off-gassing from furniture, cleaners, and building materials. These aren't sudden threats. They are insidious, contributing to headaches, fatigue, and serious respiratory issues over time. But this isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. Because the difference between living with these risks and neutralizing them has almost nothing to do with buying expensive, complicated systems. It's about understanding the 8 silent sentinels, the unassuming items you already have that are your first and best line of defense. Today, I'm breaking down the silent rules of home air safety. These are the quiet principles that protect you when reality sets in. Let's jump into Sentinel number 1. Number 1. Air quality monitors. Our first sentinel is the watcher, and its job is to see the invisible. This is the air quality monitor. You might have seen these sleek little devices, but most people don't understand their real function. They are your early warning system, translating silent threats into actionable data. So, what is this sentinel actually looking for? It tracks 2 of the most common and hazardous indoor pollutants: particulate matter, PM2.5, and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Let's start with PM2.5. The name is technical, but the concept is simple. These are microscopic particles, less than 2.5 micrometers in diameter, so small you could fit about 30 of them across a single human hair. Because they're so light, they linger in the air for hours. When you breathe them in, they bypass your body's defenses, lodging deep in your lungs and even entering your bloodstream. Studies have linked PM2.5 exposure to a host of serious health problems, including worsening asthma, decreased lung function, and heart issues. These particles are generated by common activities like frying food, burning candles, or using a fireplace. Then you have VOCs. These are gases emitted from thousands of everyday products: that new mattress smell, fresh paint, and even air fresheners. Common ones like formaldehyde and benzene off-gas from furniture, carpets, and cleaning supplies. The term volatile means they easily become a gas, which is why concentrations of many VOCs are often significantly higher indoors. Exposure can cause immediate issues like headaches and nausea, or contribute to long-term liver, kidney, and central nervous system damage. An air quality monitor uses sensors, like laser particle counters, to measure these threats in real time. It gives you the power to act. When the monitor shows a spike, you know to turn on a fan or open a window. It turns an abstract danger into a concrete problem you can manage. This sentinel tells the others when it's time to get to work. Number 2. Air purifiers. If the monitor is the watcher, the air purifier is the guardian. Its job is to capture the enemies the monitor has identified. It physically pulls pollutants out of the air, cleaning what's already inside your home. But here's the truth. Its effectiveness comes down to the filters inside. A real guardian needs a multi-stage defense, and it's critical to understand the 2 key technologies: HEPA filters and activated carbon filters. First, the HEPA filter. HEPA stands for high-efficiency particulate air. A true HEPA filter is engineered to capture 99.97% of airborne particles, down to 0.3 microns in size. A size considered one of the most difficult to trap. It's your frontline defense against physical threats like dust, pollen, mold spores, and especially those dangerous PM2.5 particles. For anyone with allergies or asthma, a HEPA filter is non-negotiable because it physically removes the triggers. But HEPA filters have a weakness. They can't stop gases and chemicals. Volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and odors pass right through. This is where the second stage comes in, the activated carbon filter. If HEPA is a net, activated carbon is a sponge. It's treated with oxygen to create millions of tiny pores, giving it a massive surface area to absorb chemicals, odors, and VOCs that the HEPA filter misses. A true guardian sentinel must have both. The HEPA filter removes the particles, and the activated carbon filter removes the gases. By running one of these in your bedroom or living room, you are actively scrubbing the invisible threats from the air you breathe. Section 3. carbon monoxide, CO, detectors. Our third sentinel is the most critical for immediate, life or death protection. It guards against a threat so fast and silent it's called the invisible killer. This is the carbon monoxide detector. Carbon monoxide CO is a colorless, odorless gas produced when fuels like gas, oil, wood, or charcoal don't burn completely. Your furnace, gas stove, water heater, and fireplace are all potential sources. The danger is how it hijacks your body. When inhaled, CO binds to hemoglobin in your red blood cells over 200 times more effectively than oxygen. This means it starves your vital organs, especially the brain and heart, of the oxygen they need to survive. The initial symptoms are deceptive and often mimic the flu: headache, dizziness, nausea, and fatigue. Victims often feel tired, lie down to rest, and never wake up. You have no natural warning that you're breathing a deadly poison. This is where the CO detector proves its worth. Inside is an electrochemical sensor that reacts to carbon monoxide. When CO gas enters the unit, it triggers a reaction that generates an electrical current. When that current hits a certain threshold, a loud, piercing alarm is triggered designed to wake you from a deep sleep. Placement is absolutely critical. You need a CO detector on every level of your home, especially outside sleeping areas. While smoke rises, CO mixes evenly with air, so detectors can be placed at any height. It's also important to understand that chronic, low-level exposure has been associated with serious long-term health problems, including headaches and memory issues. A detector with a digital display can alert you to these low levels, allowing you to fix a problem before it becomes a crisis. This Sentinel is a silent protector against a silent killer. Section 4. Exhaust fans and ventilation systems. Our fourth Sentinel is one of the hardest working, yet most overlooked. It's the exhaust fan in your kitchen and bathroom. Its mission is to be an expeller to physically capture pollutants and moisture at the source and vent them outside. This is especially important in modern, energy-efficient homes. They're sealed tight, which is great for energy bills but terrible for trapping indoor pollutants. The exhaust fan is your key tool for managing this, especially in two pollution hotspots. First, the bathroom. Every hot shower releases a huge amount of moisture into the air. Without a fan, that humidity condenses on surfaces, creating the perfect breeding ground for mold and mildew. Mold releases spores that can trigger allergies and asthma attacks, particularly in susceptible individuals. Running your fan during and for 15 to 20 minutes after a shower pulls that moisture out before it can fuel mold growth. The kitchen exhaust fan, or range hood, tackles an even more complex job. Cooking, especially on a gas stove or frying at high heat, releases a plume of PM2.5 particles, nitrogen dioxide, and VOCs. Without an effective fan, those pollutants spread throughout your entire home. Using your range hood every time you cook is one of the most effective things you can do to improve your home's air quality. But here's a critical detail. The fan must be ducted to the outside. Some cheap, ductless range hoods just filter out some grease and blow the harmful gases and fine particles right back into your kitchen. An effective expeller has to remove the threat from your home completely. It's your home's bouncer, throwing trouble out before it can start. Section 5. Non-toxic cleaning products. Our fifth Sentinel isn't a device, it's a choice. It's the decision to use non-toxic cleaning products. This Sentinel acts as a gatekeeper, preventing an army of chemical hazards from ever entering your home. We've been taught to associate the harsh smell of bleach or ammonia with clean. Here's the truth. That smell is a chemical assault on your air. Conventional cleaning products are a major source of indoor air pollution, packed with hazardous chemicals. Many release a cloud of volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Some studies of common cleaning products found they can emit hundreds of different VOCs, with a large number classified as hazardous, having the potential to cause health issues like respiratory system damage. In fact, professional cleaners have a significantly higher risk of developing asthma, linked directly to their chemical exposure. Common ingredients like ammonia and chlorine bleach are powerful respiratory irritants. And here's a critical safety rule. Never mix cleaning products, especially bleach and ammonia. The combination creates toxic chloramine gas, which can cause severe lung damage and even death. By being a gatekeeper, you stop these chemicals at the door. This means reading labels and choosing products with simpler ingredients like vinegar, baking soda, and hydrogen peroxide. Look for third-party certifications like the EPA's Safer Choice label. Even with green products, good ventilation is still important, but the principle remains. The most effective defense is to not let the enemy inside in the first place. Section 6. HVAC and furnace filters. Our sixth sentinel is hidden away, but it acts as the lungs of your entire home. It's your HVAC or furnace filter. Every bit of air heated or cooled by your central system has to pass through it, making it a powerful tool for cleaning the air in every room. But its effectiveness depends on one thing: the MERV rating. MERV stands for Minimum Efficiency Reporting Value, a scale from 1 to 16 that rates how well a filter captures particles. Understanding this is key. Let's break it down. A basic MERV 1 to 4 filter is designed to protect your HVAC system from large debris like lint, not to protect you. It does very little for your air quality. Moving up to MERV 5 to 8 starts trapping common allergens like mold spores and dust mites. The sweet spot for most health-conscious homeowners is the MERV 8 to 13 range. A MERV 13 filter is highly efficient, capturing much finer particles like pet dander, bacteria, and smoke particles. While not technically equivalent to a standalone HEPA purifier, a high MERV filter can substantially improve particle removal on a whole home level when used in a well-designed system. So why not just use the highest rating? Because there's a trade-off. A denser filter restricts airflow, which can strain your HVAC system's motor if it wasn't designed for it. Check your system's documentation to find the maximum MERV rating it can handle. For most residential systems, MERV 8 to 13 is a safe and effective choice. You must also change your filter regularly, typically every 1 to 3 months. A clogged filter can't do its job. By choosing the right MERV rating and changing it on schedule, you ensure the lungs of your home are strong and constantly working for you. Section 7. Humidity Control Devices. Our seventh sentinel is a regulator, a balancer. It's not one device, but two sides of the same coin: the dehumidifier and the humidifier. Their job is to maintain the delicate balance of moisture in your home's air, keeping it in the Goldilocks zone of 30% to 50% relative humidity. Straying outside this range creates significant hazards. First, high humidity, anything consistently above 50-60%. This turns your home into a breeding ground for two major allergy triggers: dust mites and mold. Dust mites absorb moisture from the air, and high humidity allows their populations to explode. Mold just needs moisture to grow on walls, carpets, and furniture. A dehumidifier works by pulling in humid air, cooling it to condense the moisture into a tank, and releasing drier air back into the room. It's a crucial defense for damp basements or humid seasons. On the other end is low humidity, a common problem in winter. Air that's too dry below 30% can dry out your mucous membranes, making you more susceptible to colds and respiratory infections. It can also aggravate skin conditions like eczema. A humidifier adds controlled moisture back into the air. However, this sentinel requires discipline. The water tank must be cleaned regularly and filled with distilled or demineralized water to prevent it from becoming a breeding ground for bacteria and mold that it can then spray into your room. By using these devices as needed, you become the regulator of your home's environment, ensuring the atmosphere is actively hostile to these biological threats. Section 8. Smoke detectors. Our final sentinel is the one we're all most familiar with. It's the smoke detector. We associate it with fire, but its real job is to be an alarm for an overwhelming chemical event. Here's a hard fact: most fire-related deaths are not caused by burns, but by smoke inhalation. And that smoke is a toxic cocktail of poisons released by burning synthetic materials in your home: the plastics, foams, and resins in your furniture, electronics, and carpets. When these materials burn, they release an arsenal of deadly gases. This includes massive quantities of carbon monoxide, but also hydrogen cyanide from burning foams and hydrogen chloride from burning plastics, gases that cause severe respiratory damage and can be fatal in minutes. The smoke is also thick with particulate matter that chokes your airways and causes disorientation. This is why the smoke detector is so critical. It's your earliest possible warning that this chemical storm is being unleashed. There are two main types: ionization, which is better at detecting fast, flaming fires, and photoelectric, which is better at detecting slow, smoldering fires. For the best protection, fire safety experts recommend having both technologies in your home, either as separate units or in a dual sensor alarm. Like the CO detector, placement is key. You need one inside every bedroom, outside each sleeping area, and on every level. Test them monthly and replace the batteries yearly. Unless you have a 10-year sealed unit, the smoke detector is your last line of defense against the most extreme chemical hazard your home can produce. It's the alarm that gives you the time to get out alive. Now that you've met the 8 silent sentinels, I want to hear from you. Which one surprised you the most? Was it the role of your HVAC filter or the chemical dangers your kitchen fan fights? Let me know in the comments which sentinel you're going to check on first after watching this. And if you found this breakdown valuable, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into home safety. Your home is your sanctuary, but it's also an ecosystem that can harbor invisible threats. We've broken down the reality of these dangers, from microscopic particles to off-gassing chemicals and the silent threat of carbon monoxide. But you are not defenseless. You have an elite team of guardians working for you. The air quality monitor, your watcher. The air purifier, your guardian. The CO detector, your protector. The exhaust fan, your expeller. The choice of non-toxic products, your gatekeeper. The HVAC filter, the lungs of your home. Humidity controls, your regulators. And the smoke detector, your final alarm. These aren't just household items. They are tools of empowerment. They allow you to see the invisible, fight the unseen, and take control over your environment. It starts with awareness and continues with action, maintaining these devices and making smart choices. By supporting these sentinels, you transform your home from a source of hidden dangers into a true fortress of health, where you and your family can breathe easier, one protected breath at a time.